This is Why So Mysterious, the podcast where we attempt to fill the gap between the bodies we have and the lack of knowledge around them.
We're sharing our experiences and answering our own questions,
with some help along the way,
to destigmatize tricky, taboo topics.
The triple T's. I'm going to make a lot of jokes today, by the way.
There's going to be so many shit jokes. I'm going to get grossed out. I definitely am not one of those people who can talk about. I also really don't like that kind of humor. Like, it's one of the reasons.
Like poop jokes?
No, it's one of the reasons I can't stand Amy Schumer's stand-up comedy. To each their own.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hello and welcome to another episode of Why So Mysterious. I'm Raven.
And I'm Sara.
And today we are talking about laxatives.
Woohoo!
It's gonna be
a smooth ride. I had to throw
I
that
knew
one
you were
in
gonna
there.
do something there. But yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
So the reason that we wanted to do this episode actually was because we thought it would be kind of fun to do like a quote unquote lighthearted episode.
Let's just talk about, bowels and shitting.
Yeah, because it's like, even though it's serious,
it is.
It's also kind of funny.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure have you ever taken laxatives?
I have not.
Neither have I. I was thinking about this earlier. I've taken the opposite of laxatives for food poisoning.
Oh,
But I
really?
have not. Oh yeah, it was terrible.
No, but I do take flaxseed oil every day.
That just helps with like kind of smooth.
But it really smooths the moves. So
smooths the moves.
I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, that's like just like a natural way to like hydrate, lubricate,
stay regular.
Yeah,
Got it.
so but it's not a laxative.
No,
It's just like it just helps you.
Absolutely.
Helps you be regular.
So
Okay.
you're going to tell us about laxatives,
Yeah.
what they are, what they can do, and also some like long-term effects of using them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, like I do, take everyone to a little story time about a time when laxatives were rebranded and sold as a product that, surprise, tricked some people into a situation.
I just remembered I have had laxatives. Yeah, that time I took one of the things that you're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so actually that's another thing that we should say real quick at the top of the show is I'm just going to say there will be some trigger warnings if anybody has issues with like eating disorders, body image, stuff like that. We're not going to get too much into like weight loss situations or anything, but some of
these
this
things
stuff
are used for weight loss.
Yes, and sometimes
And
even
that's
just
usually the issue. With
yeah,
it.
and sometimes even just talking about them, even if we're reading some bullshit thing that someone says, I know it can send some people into a bit of a tailspin.
Yeah.
So just fair warning.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, why don't
And
you?
we're gonna make some jokes along the way, but like,
Oh fuck yeah!
eating disorders are real, and laxatives are used for it a lot.
Absolutely, they're
That
also
is very, very serious.
and masked as a wellness.
I can't
thing.
like that blows my mind.
We're gonna talk
get
about
into
we're
it.
gonna talk about that. So
But let's first learn about laxatives.
Okay.
I was surprised how many different types of laxatives there are. So there are 6 different types of laxatives.
Really?
There's also so many brands of laxatives out there. I was like
there are.
also surprised by that. But the most common is called a stimulant laxative. So
Okay.
that's like X-Lax, like the brand.
Okay,
Like just like your classic.
is it like it stimulates
drugstore.
the organs to
Yeah, so
evacuate?
basically, exactly that. Stimulates and increases the movement of your intestines. So it sends the bisacodyl and senosides to your organs and just gets them moving and grooving.
Are the two things that you just said, I'm not going to try to say them again, are those already in your body or are those in the laxative that
Those
you've
are in the
taken?
laxatives.
Got it. Okay.
Those are the active ingredients in the
Right.
laxatives. So basically, that is like anytime you go to the drugstore and pick up a laxative. Those are meant for people who have constipation and are dealing with a lot of pain due to constipation.
Right.
And so basically what happens is it, in this case, just helps it move through your body. So exits your body. If you have like constant constipation, which needs to be addressed because that's super uncomfortable.
It's also not good for you.
It's really not good for you. Yeah. Something like a Metamucil, which is like a psyllium husk type fiber.
Right.
That'll help you regulate your bowel movements so that you don't have constipation. But people go to X-Lax when, you know,
it's an emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's not like it's not a long-term solution to.
No. And it actually says that, stimulant laxatives should not be used on a regular basis. When used regularly, they can cause dehydration and electrolyte imbalances.
Yeah, because it
fucks you up.
Yeah.
Basically, what it does is, so when it's stimulating the intestines,
the colon,
it is pulling in the water from your colon into your stool and helping it push through.
Right.
And at the same time, it is also absorbing specifically a lot of vitamins. And which I know you're going to talk about, hormones.
Right.
And that has to do with some of like how it absorbs oils or something like that. Like it has something to do with how it goes through your body. It then just sweeps and collects all the good stuff while
it's basically
at
like
it.
Anything that's in your body that's not like fully integrated into your bloodstream yet, and then some.
And then some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the one of the biggest issues, what they actually say is like the most dangerous part of laxatives. Again, like if you're using laxatives as a one time, like you have really bad constipation, sure, it's fine. Like take a laxative. It's not going to harm you. It's just not very good for you. Like they make you take laxatives if you're going to get like a colonoscopy or like, you know, those kind of things. It's used. It's just not meant to be like something you take. They say like don't ever take it for more than 7 days or whatever.
Yeah, it is 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it causes dehydration because laxatives work by drawing water into the intestines from other tissues, resulting in water basically in your stool instead of elsewhere.
Right.
That can also cause to just like general dehydration in your body, which causes headaches, reduced urine output, which that can also cause UTIs.
Yeah, it's not good.
Increased thirst, of course, fatigue, dry skin, and dizziness. So just lots of things. So it's just like, no, you're not going to feel good.
No, not at all.
And then electrolytes, they basically are substances. So electrolytes are substances dissolved in your body's fluids that are important for helping your cells and tissues function normally. So electrolytes are like throughout your whole body are being used.
Yeah.
That's why we need to drink those electrolyte drinks. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, let's not tell everyone to do that.
I'm kidding.
I'm not saying electrolytes are a lie.
You get electrolytes from food.
Yeah.
You get electrolyte. Like, actually, that's like your best source is just from food.
Yeah.
Some of the most common electrolytes are chloride, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphate. Those are all things that are really common in like your daily like staple foods.
Yeah.
Like
you should be eating some of that every day.
You know, all those things.
Yeah.
If the balance of these essential electrolytes is thrown off, it can cause dangerous side effects, including seizures, confusion, and...
Sorry, did you say Caesars?
Seizures.
I was like, hold on.
Caesars.
Like we get to have a Caesar.
That's how you get your electrolytes back.
Caesars. No, I've never heard of that.
No,
Caesars. Okay.
Let me wet my whistle.
That makes a lot more sense.
So that I can pronounce that properly. Seizures, confusion, and coma, which I'm like, those are for sure like the worst case. Okay. It goes from confusion to coma.
But I think it's really funny. I don't know if you like copy pasted that, but or if you wrote it like in the order you wanted it in, because I like how it's just like super scary, not so scary, and then so scary,
super scary. I know. I thought that was. This is a direct quote. Seizures, confusion,
got it,
and coma.
Cool.
Which I just thought was really funny. And then this was also like, oh, and by the way, it also causes fatigue, muscle aches, and heart palpitations.
Got it.
So it's just like, here's yet another thing. If it's used in the right way, sure, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be taking laxatives every day.
No.
Because it's going to be fucking dangerous for our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that there are some people out there that have and will. So that's why they need to know that these things are really dangerous. And so what I wanted to offer instead.
Oh, you have some alternatives.
Yeah, I brought up some alternatives of like some different ways of going about, say, if you actually do need a laxative.
Right.
I suggested
flaxseed oil.
Yeah. And you can actually buy it in liquid form. It works even better.
You can use it this is part of the reason that I can't have flaxseed oil anymore, is because when I was growing up, instead of like, we had to have salad every dinner, and which is like, it sounds silly, but for me that was a problem as a child.
Of course. I mean, forced to eat salad every day.
Forced to eat salad. You can't get up from the table until you finish your glass of water and you eat your salad. So we would always have the salad dressing that my parents would make was usually like apple cider vinegar, and instead of like olive oil, it was flaxseed oil.
Oh my God. Of
and
course it was.
I cannot stand this taste of flaxseed oil to this day. I can't, because it just reminds me of having to eat this stupid fucking salad that I didn't want to eat.
Nope.
And I know it's really good for you. There was even a point where they were making us do like a tablespoon of it in the morning, but
it's really good for you.
I just can't.
It's great.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah. So childhood trauma.
Yeah, that's fine. But there are some other things that you can take. So that was called a stimulant laxative, the one that I was just talking about. But there are hyperosmotic laxatives, which also draws water into your intestines. So again, like, it'll still have like somewhat of a dehydrating effect on you. I think all of them will, because
they will.
Your stool, what's happening is like your stool is too dry to move through
sounds
you.
Painful when you say it like that.
Super painful. That's why it's stuck in there.
Oh.
And so basically it needs more moisture. But what these ones do, they can also be used for longer. So like if, because there are some times that maybe you would need it for like a few more days.
I know there's also like, you know, there's certain like medications, or even taking iron.
Yeah. Iron
can make you very constipated.
Yeah. Oh, it's so bad. So, but it still says like, don't use these for long term. Like longer is like 5 days, you know, like, because even the ones that say 7 days, they still like, they're like, do not exceed 7 days. Right. So, but this one is just like a little less risk. So these ones are similar to a Metamucil, like how Metamucil is like fibrous or whatever. But these are a good option for people with chronic constipation, but they do take longer to work. So they're not like an immediate flushing out.
Which might be a good thing.
Which is a good thing, yeah. So basically, this one, it just creates more water retained in the colon and increases the movement frequency. So that's pretty much it for, and that one would be like, there's a ton of them on, say, Amazon, but they're more like they're called like prune lax or like those things. They're so if you just look up either osmotic laxatives or hyperosmotic, it's the same thing. But it just basically works like, it's similar to a stool softener, which is a slightly different thing. Yeah. Stool softener just takes a lot longer. So if you need something that's like quick acting.
Stool softener is also something that someone who does take, like, say, like a decent amount of iron and a supplement every day would probably also be taking. I think they are also a little bit safer for longer term use.
Stool softeners you can use, I think, a lot more.
Often. Yeah, it's like a microdose of a laxative, basically.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely different. But there's no adverse effects of the hyperosmotic laxatives.
Well, that's good.
So you don't need to worry about the electrolyte. Because that's really like, I mean, you're going to get dehydration from pretty much any laxative you take because of what it's doing. So drink lots of water, which is also really helpful for constipation.
That's true.
Water is really helpful. But it's really like what is the big effect is the stimulant laxatives because of the electrolyte reduction, so absorption, which can be a lot more than just electrolytes. It's a lot of the good things that are going through your body and a lot of things that you are purposely putting in your body, like medication or birth control, which I think is the direction this conversation is about to go.
Is. That's also kind of a one-way ticket to an IV drip in the hospital as well. Like if you're abusing or you even accidentally abusing a laxative, something like that, odds are you're going to have to go and get that stuff put back in you with a needle. So
yeah, definitely.
Look out.
Look out. Yeah.
All right. So we've all been on Instagram for a while. So
have we now?
We have, I'm sure. If you haven't,
get on
honestly,
it. Actually, no, never go on it.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly when this trend started happening, but everyone was Googling and stuff. Everyone just kept saying like, wow, like 5 years ago, but I don't know. Maybe it was.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like 2014, 15, 16 kind of.
Yeah, like 2016 is 5 years ago, so.
Oh, God, that's weird.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's so bizarre. Yeah. A lot's happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there suddenly kind of started becoming a trend. This was also around the time, too, that Instagram started to be used as a very, like, effective endorsing marketing tool for brands.
Influencer marketing.
Exactly. And before we even had the influencer, like, I would call it, like, a quote-unquote organic influencer. Like, they're not coming from a different kind of fame. We have, like, the Kardashians and people like that. And so reality television stars, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a breakout product being effectively sold through these was detox teas and shakes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, they...
And what at the core are detox teas and shakes?
Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're also gonna get to why they get to be called quote unquote like natural too. So...
Oh, yeah.
One of the reasons, too, that I found that I ended up doing a little bit of reading into, like, who started these companies. And there's a bunch of them, too. Like, we've all heard of, like, you know, Flat Tummy Tea, Fit Tea, all of these tea somethings. Yeah. They mostly were all started by people who had backgrounds in marketing, period. So they weren't...
I could see that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because you think about how good some of that branding is. Like,
it's also, like, diet marketing, especially. I mean, it's... thankfully trickling, like it's like dying down a little bit now, but back then it was still very rampant.
It was very rampant, and it was also like this kind of marketing was like fully geared at young people. So it's like you see like a Weight Watchers ad, or like you remember seeing Jenny Craig ads on TV and stuff. Yeah, they're definitely geared to a more like mature person, not even old, but like people our age too.
It was usually like, if you think of like Weight Watchers, was definitely my mom's. Yeah. Like it was, what was her name, Kirstie Allen or whatever.
Kirstie Alley? Was it?
No, Kirstie Allen. Was it Kirstie Alley?
Kirstie Alley.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
That was Jenny Craig, wasn't it?
Was it Jenny Craig?
I think it was.
Yeah, maybe it was Jenny Craig.
Yeah. And
but like,
poor Kirstie Alley. She went through hell in the media with...
Yeah. So terrible.
Anyway, so yeah, they all came from marketing background. So it was like their effectiveness was like this really sleek branding. Remember Millennial Pink? This was right around the time that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
The celebrity endorsement, and also just good old fashioned body shaming.
Yep.
And it made these products really successful. Yeah. And they continue to earn over $30 million a year in sales. And that was just the revenue that I looked up for 2019 of Flat Tummy Tea. $30 million in revenue.
Gosh.
So
30?
30. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I looked up and they have a parent company, and I literally read their like tax forms because they're public record. It was like a PDF, and I was like, oh, this is a weird thing to read, but I'm gonna see it. This company said that Flat Tummy Tea accounts for 60% of their revenue overall.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And all the other brands are sold in drugstores, but only Flat Tummy Tea is sold direct to consumer online, and it accounts for 60%. Because so that's wild. So yes, to how these actually work, the quote unquote detox part of these teas is straight up herbal laxatives.
Yeah.
So the main ingredient in most of them is something called senna leaves, SENNA.
SENNA.
Yes. And do you have that in there?
Well, that must be why the active ingredient in the stimulant laxative is senosides.
Interesting. So it's probably just a derivative of the same thing. This is just the leaf because it's tea. So
I mean, it's like often these things just are derived from
plants.
A plant or
aspirin
whatever.
Is mostly made from it's not. You know what I mean. Anyway.
I know what you mean.
So yeah, senna leaves are, like you said, they're actually FDA approved. As a laxative, so
it would be
over the counter, but that is what they are for.
Again, it's like the origin of why these things are made is like, cool, people are constipated, let's make something to give them relief.
Sure, that's
and then it's taken into like somewhere totally different.
It's taken into such an extreme. So there is a lot of issues with prolonged use of laxatives. One of them you just told me was debunked, but I did write here.
I mean, it's like it's debunked on one site. Like it's kind of like,
I'm going to say it anyway because I feel like it might not be true forever, but I'm sure that there might be a period of time where if you're using laxatives consistently, and I'm talking like, some of these cleanses are 28 days, your colon can literally forget how to function on its own.
Yeah.
And that might come back.
I think that might be it, is like long term, it probably comes back. But I definitely think it would need to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is fucked.
That's terrible. But then also a somewhat, surprising side effect, like you said, is they can interfere with medications.
Yes.
And those medications can literally be any medication. So if you're taking SSRIs and you're using these products, they can remove the effectiveness of that.
What's an SSRI?
SSRIs are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So they're basically antidepressants.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
And
I figured. I just was asking for, the audience.
Just for everyone else.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we're going to talk about, hormonal birth control.
Yep.
So
and no surprise.
Not a surprise.
Not to us. But it's okay if you're surprised.
I mean, when I first found out about this, which was a while ago, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really understand how laxatives work, but also like it just seemed wild that no one would let you know that could happen.
It's wild. They also don't let you know that like antibiotics and echinacea.
Or also, I mean, this is extreme, but people still live with this, is like if you're taking antivirals for HIV/AIDS, it can flush out those as well.
Really?
So yeah, it's a big deal. And
wait, the laxatives can flush out?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So if you're on an antiviral for that, which is like very serious, because if you have HIV and you're not getting your antivirals, you'll progress to AIDS. Yeah. It's a big fucking deal. So
oh my gosh.
That brings us to this fun little nickname for kind of the main thing we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Bootea Babies?
No, but I can imagine what they are.
So Bootea specifically, and it's...
Is that a name?
Yes.
Like of a brand?
Yes. It's BOOTEA. So it's like booty, but it's boutique.
Because you're going to shit it out.
No, I think it's because you're going to look great, but that's way better.
No,
that's way more accurate.
You're going to shit it out.
They were warning you inadvertently.
They were.
So this particular brand is a UK brand. They're still around. And in 2015, they caused a rash of surprise pregnancies across the world, but especially in the UK where they were predominantly sold, because nowhere on the packaging and nowhere on the product page. So when you go to put it in your cart and you're reading the list of ingredients, you're reading,
doesn't say anything about...
Nothing about whether or
laxatives?
not this. No, it does. They use the word laxatives in a few places, but
okay.
they don't say anything about the side effects of taking
Oh,
a
okay,
7-day, 14-day, 28-day laxative cleanse.
Oh my God. And then you're having sex during that time.
Exactly.
Because you're feeling all cute and booty.
Would you be feeling cute if you're
No,
surprised shitting?
I'm just kidding.
I watched one video.
You're
It's a woman in the UK who's starting, or who has a petition to end all detox teas.
Yeah.
Like the way that they're being presented in the media, basically. And she said that she would wake up in the morning and she'd shit her bed. Yeah, because there's a daytime tea and there's a nighttime tea.
Oh, and the nighttime tea is probably like insane.
The nighttime tea is supposed to not work in terms of the laxative effect for 10 hours.
Oh.
So you're supposed to drink it and then 10 hours later,
Fuck no, man.
you'll shit yourself. But I don't know how accurate
No.
that is. I'm sure it's kind of like, I mean, it's like anything. Like sometimes they just work differently in different bodies. So
God.
this is wild. My goodness. So yeah, it doesn't say anywhere on Bootea's website that this can flush out any medications that you're taking. And so the way that it does that, like we said, with hormonal birth control or anything else, is if you take your birth control too close to when you're consuming the laxative, then it hasn't had time to fully absorb in the blood, and then it just kind of flushes it out with everything else.
Just like all your other electrolytes.
Exactly.
It's gone out the back door.
Just waste. So instead, it was on their FAQ page.
Oh,
So
shit.
it was on the site.
Yeah.
But you'd have to go to the FAQ page first. So here is the Q&A on the site.
Oh, no.
The Q is, will my detox, which is whatever, affect my contraceptive pill? And the answer is, Bootea may affect the accuracy of the pill if you take your pill in the morning within 4 hours of the laxative effect. If you take the pill at night, you will be fine, as it takes around 10 hours for the laxative effect of the nighttime tea bags to set in. We are sorry, but we cannot comment on any forms of contraception, and would ask you to consult your doctor, nurse, or pharmacist with the list of our ingredients.
Oh, no.
So they're kind of saying yes,
Yes.
but they're also kind of saying,
it's not our problem.
yeah, it's on you. So then obviously I did a lot of Googling and stuff, and there are articles about this. They're not particularly extensive, which I find kind of surprising. There's a few like personal accounts, like there were actually a few like kind of famous Instagram influencers in the UK who got pregnant.
Seriously.
Yeah, and like the narrative, and like this is, you know, fine, and it's wonderful if you're excited to have your baby. But I just think finding out that you're pregnant this way would take, and they all do say that, like the shock is a lot. So basically all of these accounts that I was reading was like, in the end we were over the moon, which is like fantastic, but also
it's devastating.
who
this
wants
is
to,
crazy.
yeah, like you're
taking a contraceptive for a reason.
Exactly. And a lot of people have been on their contraceptive for a long time, and it's been effective. So it seems very strange. So then,
oh shit,
because I wanted, you know, something a little bit more than these articles were giving me, I found an online forum called NetMums, MUM.com. So this one person posted about their experience with a 28-day detox from Bootea.
Oh my gosh.
So basically she said she was really happy with the results. And at the beginning, she's like, I'm not here to complain. I'm not here to whine. Like it all worked out in the end, but I just need everyone to know that this is possible.
Yeah.
So she said she was very happy with the results. She lost a stone, which I had to Google, is 7 pounds.
Okay.
Why does that mean? Where does that saying come from?
It's like a British thing. Like it's like UK.
Did someone weigh a stone and it happened to be 7 pounds?
Probably.
It's strange.
I have literally no idea.
Anyway, so she lost 7 pounds in 2 weeks, which she wanted, and so she was happy about it. She said she read all of the information on the box when she bought it, and all of the information on the product page, because you know you're going to be losing weight out of your asshole. You're probably going to take the time to read the thing, most likely. And she did. And then, so 2 weeks into this detox, she has a friend who's thinking about going on it. And that friend is breastfeeding. So she goes on the FAQs page because she wants to know, can she breastfeed and do a detox? And she finds this Q&A. And she sends it to this woman and says, FYI. And this woman, who like lost 7 pounds or whatever. She's already got 2 kids and she's got a husband in the army. So she doesn't really want to like take any chances. So she stops taking it, even though she'd bought the 28 days. She stops for 2 weeks. She's like, I'm going to wait until I get my next period and see how it goes. And then I'll start taking it again. Whatever. If that's your choice, that's your choice.
Yeah.
So she waits and her period doesn't come.
No.
She also writes, this husband in the army, she saw him twice in the 2 weeks that she was on this detox.
Oh, fuck
So she
me.
was also like, what are the odds?
Yeah.
I mean, probably pretty
slim.
She's pregnant.
Oh, shit. So she lost 7 pounds to gain 8. Sorry, I just
more like to gain 18 years of paying for food and medical bills and
that's
staying
so
up all night.
Crazy though.
She's already got 2 of them anyway. So she was.
I thought you were gonna say like there was like an affair or something because her husband was in the army.
No, they.
I thought the story was gonna be more saucy, but that's okay. I like it still. I mean, it sucks, and it is. It's like you're on a contraceptive for a reason. You don't want to have children right now. It doesn't mean you don't want to have children. It doesn't mean you aren't going to keep it.
There's a
just
reason
you get
it's
pregnant.
called family planning. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. So then I scroll to the comments of this post, and there are 3 pages of comments, and I start scrolling. Literally every second comment is, that happened to me too. It's a lot of people.
Oh, no.
So I would like to read you some of the more interesting comments.
Yes. This is our first forum comment reading corner.
It's going to be interesting.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sipping. Good.
Water
I'm
break.
ready for this.
So one woman said she wanted to lose her postpartum weight. So she decided to do a detox, which is so. I just want to hug this woman and tell her take your time. Like, there's a lot to get into on that one. But again, this happens all the time. So she decides to do a detox.
Yeah.
And she essentially ends up with Scotch twins. So I think her kid's like 2 months old. She gets pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So that was one. She was like, I just wanted to lose my baby weight, and now I'm pregnant. Another one was this person was on the pill for 14 days. This person was on the pill for 14 years. 28 days of Bootea, pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Can you imagine the shock?
The shock. You've been like, I've been steadfast with this pill for 14 years.
You might be asking, is it only the birth control pill? One woman, IUD, pregnant.
I'm not surprised.
Yep. This one. I saw 2 separate comments that basically were 2 different people with the same question. That was, I'm trying really hard to get pregnant. It's not working. So if I do this detox, will I get pregnant?
No. Assuming you're not on birth control while trying to get pregnant.
No.
Oh, sweetie.
I felt, that was intense. There's another person who wrote like a really long comment about how she just doesn't have sex when she does the detox. And it's like, what? Why?
So you take a month off of having sex?
Yeah, 2 weeks to a month. And I don't know. It's just like, why would you? Silly.
Just don't do the detox.
Just don't do the detox.
Yeah.
I would love to have sex right now. I'm just saying that just seems so silly to me because it's like, why wouldn't you? If you've got it, why aren't you getting it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so some of the comments were also, predictably like, well, why aren't you just reading the FAQs page and taking your pill?
Who does that?
Well,
though?
okay, here's the other thing too. Basically, it's like, just take the birth control at night because the laxative effect of the nighttime tea doesn't set in for 10 hours. So why aren't you just doing that? Here's the thing. Aside from changing your, birth control routine to fit a laxatives schedule, which is outrageous.
Which is wild.
Consistency is quite important with a birth control pill. Mm-hmm. You can take your birth control pill in a window and then it starts to lose its effectiveness. Yeah. So if you're
supposed to be like on the dot every single day.
You should take it on the dot every day. You'll remember it better if it's on the dot every day also. But I think if you normally take it at 7 a.m., let's say, and then you go party and wake up at 10 hungover on the next day or something like that. You take it at 10, it's probably going to be fine. It's really not the end of the world, but you shouldn't start, then taking it at 10 every day. You should go back to 7 and just stay on the routine. It's important because
it's very important, actually.
Yeah, consistency is key.
Yeah.
And like I said, like if you're, that's the thing is, let's say you still are taking it at 7 a.m. In order to change your schedule from 7 a.m. to, let's say, like 9 p.m., that's a pretty big deal. And you might already be risking some other, some goalies might get through. No, goalies might get through. I don't know sports. We've been over this.
No, me neither.
Something could happen.
Could happen.
You don't want to happen.
No.
Anyway, and just like priorities, like do you really want to change up your schedule
for a laxative? It's definitely
not the best.
No, we would highly encourage you not to do that.
Exactly. So those were the more interesting comments, but it was wild. Like I said, 3 pages of comments. Pretty much every second one was a pregnancy and a story about how it had happened. And
jeez,
that's
that
pretty
is so wild.
Yeah, it is.
And the fact that these things are still like so common, like
well. So here's what did change because of that. So senna was actually removed as the ingredient in most of the brands. It wasn't just Bootea who was using it. It was like, should I say Booty? I don't know. It's dumb. It was in all the major brands, including Flat Tummy Tea.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people took it out. And so they still don't have a warning about birth control.
Okay.
But they're no longer using senna, which was the most aggressive herbal laxative. However, all of these detox brands are still using herbal supplements as laxatives.
Yeah.
So they still contain things like licorice and yerba mate. And if consumed in high doses, like say on a 7, 14, 28-day cleanse, all of those herbal supplements can still render medications ineffective.
Oh my God.
So it doesn't really matter.
No.
And then I just wanted to get into a little bit of Instagram gossip.
Ooh, let's go there.
Because, this kind of marketing and people misusing the product. Like, I think one of the teas, that same woman who said she would shit the bed at night, she said whichever brand she was on, she didn't say which one, you're supposed to do the detox tea every second day.
Okay.
And I think it's so that you make sure that you're not going to the hospital with dehydration.
I was going to say, it's probably so that your body can like recoup some of it.
Yeah, but she was suffering with an eating disorder. That's how she ended up going on it, was also like the Instagram culture making her really nervous. And I think she lost her mom at a really young age. And so it was like a perfect storm. So she started abusing the teas.
Oh, no.
And she started doing them every day. She really like blames a lot of this on like Instagram influencers and like nobody says what this stuff really does. So here's a fun fact. In 2019, Tummy Tea, Fit Tea, and Skinny Bunny Tea, which were like 3 of the main brands on Instagram, had a combined Instagram audience of 4.4 million followers, which is more than the population of Los Angeles.
Which I'm like, sure, that's the whole like audience.
It's all of LA.
It's all of LA.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Calabasas plus. So in September of 2019, Instagram actually launched a policy that restricted posts encouraging the use of laxative diet teas, shakes, and lollipops. Remember the lollipop?
Yeah.
That post is still on Kim K's Instagram.
Really?
There's just no caption anymore. It's just an emoji of a lollipop.
Really?
Yep. Fun fact.
Oh my gosh.
So the policy restricts visibility of diet promotion posts to those under 18 or those that Instagram knows to be under 18. And that's also when the report function was added to each individual post, which seems weird. That's what this article said, but I feel like there should have been a way to report things. Maybe it was just more work.
I don't know.
It's really easy to report now. Like sometimes I accidentally move my thumb a certain way and then that menu
and it's
comes
like
up.
report.
Yeah. So if a post is promoting weight loss products or a cosmetic procedure that includes an incentive to buy and a price and or a coupon code, you can report it. and then someone at Instagram will review it, and they'll either restrict it to those who are under 18, or they can remove the post completely.
Right.
And the removing of the post completely, the criteria for that is, in addition to what I just said, it has to have a quote unquote miracle claim, which means if you're saying that it's anti-inflammatory, it cures diabetes, like it has, you know, things where it's just like it doesn't really add up, then they can, and then it's linked to like a commercial offer, like the coupon code.
Yeah.
That's when they can remove it.
Oh.
So if you're making really outlandish claims about the effectiveness, they can take it down. I know you're a big fan of this person, so I'm sure you'll be interested to hear Jamila Jamil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was actually working with Instagram to make this policy happen.
Cool.
Because she was one of the only celebrities who was like trolling all of the influencers, including the Kardashians, and calling them out.
So, like, didn't she like flat out like call it out on
fully? You can see all of her, like, she comments, she screenshots, she tweets, the whole thing. So one was like, you know, somewhat recently, it was a Khloe Kardashian one.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but Khloe Kardashian has a TV show right now called Revenge Bodies. Did you know that? Where she helps people get...
I vaguely remember hearing that.
It's kind of like a nicer version of The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. I watched some clips from it today.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, years ago, Khloe Kardashian did a post with Flat Tummy Tea that was like, look, it works so good. Look how flat. And Jamila Jamil commented, you need to tell people that you have a chef, a trainer, a nutritionist, all of these things, and you're surgically enhanced. You can't possibly expect people to believe that it's just the tea.
Tummy tea.
So then a couple years later, in 2019, Khloe Kardashian posts again and says, yes, I do have a nutritionist. Yes, I do have a chef. Yes, I do have a trainer. But also, Flat Tummy Tea really works. And then Jamila Jamil took a screenshot of it, posted it on her Instagram with the caption, is she poor? Like, why does she need to do this? I thought that was
my God, that's
so
actually
funny.
so funny.
So, and yeah, like, you know, like Jamila Jamil had a eating disorder growing up, and she also is very open about how she's been contacted by a lot of brands to promote their product, and she has also said, like, I'm naturally thin. Why would you want me to promote a product and say this is why I'm naturally thin? And she also received direction to take photos of looking frumpy and sad, and then go to the beach looking good as before and after photos.
Oh my God.
Yes. So that's the laxative tea shake industry.
Wild tea shake.
Bootea Babies.
Oh man, have I told you about my when I tried it wasn't
what was
Bootea. Well, okay, and now that I think about it, I'm like, it was like partly curiosity, partly just falling into like the diet culture trends, and I had a couple friends that were all doing it.
What was it? Were they pills?
No, it's a tea.
Oh.
And it's sold in Walmart. And it's a totally nondescript box. It doesn't say anything about being a laxative. Some people used to call it like the ballerina tea.
Oh.
The one that I bought is just like a green box, and it's in like the international section at Walmart, where you find like the Chinese herbal teas.
Okay.
And I just like, I remember my friends just saying like, it just go there, pick up like the green box, you know, like I remember just buying it. I was like, fuck it, I'll try it.
It's like a back alley deal in a Walmart. It literally
felt like that in a Walmart. I was just, it says nothing about it. It says something like this kind of herb tea, you know, I'm sure it was like a senna or something like that. And I remember trying, I literally had like half a cup, like, because I was like, I'm gonna just test the waters, because I was just like, it'd be nice to get like a cleanse. I wasn't gonna do it for multiple days. I was gonna literally do it for just one time.
Less of a cleanse and more of a flush.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I think I took it, and then I took it before I went to bed, and then I woke up the next day. And I remember I felt so awful. And then I fucking shit myself like crazy. I'm not on the bed. I just like actually went to the bathroom and like literally had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
But then I feel like because I was probably like I wasn't sick, but I was probably like had like a little like bug dormant in me. But I think the dehydration and probably like the electrolytes.
Yeah.
Like depletion, it literally like just sent me into like a full blown cold. Like I literally woke up, I went to bed feeling like fine. I was like, I'm gonna do this tea. I woke up so sick. Like, so I was like sick. Imagine having like a really bad flu and then also having really bad diarrhea.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Oh, it was so terrible. And I was like, why would anybody put their body through this? Like, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done to myself.
I just don't know how you like carry on with your day knowing you could shit yourself.
I was in bed all
time.
day.
Yeah.
I was in bed all day and then just getting up to shit.
Oh my God.
It was so terrible. It was so bad. So I'm not even gonna just don't go looking for this tea. But then I was also thinking the poor people just shopping at Walmart being like, oh, I'm going to try some Chinese herbal tea today. And then having a horrible experience with it because it didn't say a single thing.
That's bizarre that it wouldn't say anything.
Nothing.
Is that allowed?
From my memory, it said nothing. It was just like a green nondescript tea. I think it had a ballerina on it, and that's how I knew what it was.
Right. Well, that's actually something else that we should say too, is like a laxative plan for weight loss is not effective because you lose.
No,
it's like
literally just bounces. Because
you lose
water,
it and
then you lose your water weight.
Your body
and then
needs
you
your water.
Get it back.
Yeah.
As soon as you go, it's not a diet. It's not like, you know, it's not gonna have any long-term benefit for you other than you're just gonna feel dehydrated and feel like you look skinny for a few days.
Yeah, you're probably just going to feel really faint the whole time. But
yeah, because are you supposed to eat during this? Like, do you eat and take? It just seems like
the tea, you're
point?
supposed to still eat, but if you do the shakes are meant to be meal replacements. So basically, they're a laxative while also being like a vitamin bag, but assuming you're just going to shit out all the vitamins that you just ingested. Like there was another one that I saw today that was like on the Bootea Instagram. So like again, like pretty new. And it was like a tea. It was like back in stock, like this fruity Bootea with chunks of real fruit.
Oh no.
Why don't you just eat some fruit? Like it's seriously dehydrated.
Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
Man.
But also in my research, I wanted to end on this really funny old time laxative like constipation cure that I found.
Yes.
So there's this book called Gulp, which I actually just put on hold at the library because now I really want to read it. This person is a food scientist writer. Her name's Mary Roach. And basically this book is just like all this weird stuff about food. It's like, why is crunchy food so appealing? There's a whole chapter on whether or not Elvis died of constipation. I can't wait to read it. Yeah. So
my gosh.
Apparently back in the day, constipation was like very like a big no-no. It was like when everyone was really getting into health, like Dr. Kellogg had his whole like health clinic.
Yes.
And if you've ever seen The Road to Wellness.
I only know that story because of Drunk History.
With the Wilson brothers.
Yeah.
I love that
was
episode.
my first episode of Drunk History that I watched and I was like, really? Like I had no idea that was the story.
Might enjoy this movie called The Road to Wellville, which came out in the 90s. Anthony Hopkins plays Dr. Kellogg. Okay. Matthew Broderick is a heroin addict who goes to this clinic to get better. And it's just very strange. There's like laughing therapy.
It looks fucking freaky deaky, man.
It's very weird, but so yeah, this is sort of like around that time. It was like in the 1910s. So everyone was really afraid of like toxins and things like that. So to be constipated was no good. And there were lots of cures for constipation, but one that came up that was in this book was the suggested solution was to place a kitten on one's naked belly and keep it there for 2 to 3 days.
A kitten? Like a cat?
Must be a kitten.
It must be a kitten.
Must be a kitten.
How are you going to keep the cat on your belly? Is the cat supposed to shit on you?
No, there's no shitting involved. You're just supposed to keep this cat on your naked belly. So I don't know if you're supposed to strap it to you.
Is it because it's maybe like pawing you?
I don't know. I have no more
giving
information.
You a little cat massage?
Maybe. Actually, that makes
sense. Making the,
making
or maybe
biscuits.
The heat. Yeah. Oh my God.
But
that is wild. Like but have you ever interacted with a cat before? Like it's not going to just stay on your belly for 3 full days. Like
no. Pretty sure it has to be alive for this to work. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
That's
crazy.
So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book now.
Wow. I can't wait for you to read that and then tell me about it.
I'll tell you if Elvis died of constipation.
Yeah, I really want to know now.
He may have. Fun
Really?
fact, one of the reasons that my dad would always like get in my face about red meat when I was a kid, Elvis died with like 60 pounds of undigested raw red meat in his colon. And so did John Wayne.
What?
Yeah. So that's a good place to end it.
Holy shit. That's a lot of
Chew
meat.
your food. Also, don't eat red meat every day.
But also that much?
Yeah. It's really hard for your body to digest.
How many meals is that?
How many meals?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're eating like a big steak every night.
Yeah.
It was the 70s. People ate steaks all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wild.
Seriously.
Okay, cool. Well, people out there, don't take these teas.
Please do not take these teas. Do not take
laxatives.
Even if you're not on birth control.
No.
It's just so toxic and it just makes me so sad.
Like you were saying, like the social media stuff, like the people promoting it are not looking like that because of those teas. There's not a one quick, solution to making you feel, like you have the perfect body. And the fact that it's booty, like if anything, you're just going to lose muscle tone because you have no electrolytes and you're just going to, lose all the fat and you're going to have a small booty.
Also, the messages. Okay, here, I know we said we were done, but real quick. There was on the Bootea Instagram, there was a person in the grid who I clicked on because they were like very thin, but they had a very big butt. This was a white person from the UK. I click on the account because I'm like, wow, what kind of influencer is this? They're a fitness influencer who just happens to be very small with a very big butt. Every single one of this person's posts was like head over the shoulder, ass out.
Of course.
And every single caption was like, you need to work for what you want. You can't just sit around and expect things to come for you. You need to get up and make it happen. And I was like, fuck you. Not having it. So, if you feel like you are not doing enough because of this, you totally are. And just go to therapy.
Yeah. That's actually going to solve most of your unhappiness with food.
Most likely.
Is go to therapy.
Yeah.
We'll end on that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Why So Mysterious is hosted by Sara Jonsdottir and Raven McLean. Audio is produced and edited by Sonia Inke. Original music is by Malcolm Holt and Alexis Young.
Check out our website, whysomysterious.com, for more information about this episode and other episodes. You can also email us with questions or topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show at whysomysteriousPod@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram at whysomysteriousPod for updates, fun facts, and general outrage. If you're an audio listener, but you'd rather be a voyeur, check us out on YouTube.
If you like the show, tell your friends and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Until next time.